I was just scared. And so then he hurried up and he got into his car and noticed that he was driving a black Mustang, and the last numbers on the plate were 25. And my son had died at 25, and it was 25 years, and it was just too weird.
You felt like it was some type of numerical sign.
Absolutely.
It just came to you when you saw that number 25.
Absolutely.
And so then what did you do? How did you come in contact with him to have the first conversation?
In November, when the Mexicans celebrate the Day of the Dead, I came out on my porch, and there was an altar set up there with the beautiful carnations and,
yes.
and the skull and the names
Day, everyone.
of his mother.
This is the case of Rodriguez versus Martinez. Ms. Rodriguez, you say the defendant really just wants access to your estate and has caused you emotional distress. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Mr. Martinez, you say all you want to do is confirm paternity and find out your true identity, and it's not about the inheritance.
Yes, that's true.
Thank you so much. I'll start with you. Plaintiff, Ms. Rodriguez, you're saying this young man has caused you emotional distress. Tell the court what's been going on.
Yes, Your Honor. This young man has began appearing outside of my home in Santa Monica. At first, I just thought he was someone who was just passing by, but he did have this, unique look and caught my eye. So I thought, well, once, okay, twice. I mean, it's a free country and a free neighborhood. But then I started noticing him more regularly, and then I began getting the feeling that he was watching me. So that is why I'm here. And then I started receiving notes and phone calls. Well, the phone calls first, and the hang up, and then notes that were imploring me to meet with him. And
so wait a minute. How long was this going on?
A couple of months.
So he would just kind of be near your house?
In front, walking
Not
past.
On your property, on the public pavement, but walking by?
He actually did come on the property. I had a ring installed, and then I noticed him leaving notes in my mailbox.
And what did the notes say?
Well, the notes came after the phone calls, and they were asking me to meet with him. He wanted to know if we were related.
All right, so the truth is, he was walking by, he was near you, he was looking, but he also made his intentions known.
Yes.
I think we could be related.
Yes.
And how was he saying he thought he could be related to you?
He claimed to be the son of my departed son.
Okay, so you've lost your son. I'm very
Yes.
sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I don't feel that he was malicious. I don't feel that, but I am here for closure, and I think we both need to know the truth.
I want to ask you, Mr. Martinez, Ms. Rodriguez said she saw you near her home. What took you so long? Why did it take a few months? Were you trying to look at her to see if you saw any resemblance? What was your plan?
Well, how it first started was I started giving her phone calls, and then she expressed how she didn't want to receive my phone calls anymore. But I know in my heart that Michael Henderson is my father, because my mother will always tell me that, oh, this is my father. She was showing me pictures, and I believe that. But then recently she just passed away, and then I just felt kind of lonely. And I looked online for this Michael Henderson, and that's where I learned that he passed away. And his only relative was Ms. Rodriguez.
And so your mother has passed?
Yes.
I'm very sorry for your loss as well. And so she left you with a name?
Yes, she was showing me pictures of Michael Henderson all the time, and that's who I believe was my father.
And she always said, this is your father?
Yes.
And did she ever say to you why you didn't have a relationship with your father?
My father wasn't present even when I was born, because he just left. I guess she thought he left or something, but apparently he got in the car crash before I was born, and she never got to saw him. So to her, it probably made it look like she just left. He just left.
And so, Ms. Rodriguez, did your son pass away in a car accident?
He did indeed. He died on the 10 freeway on the off-ramp at Centinela. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
This
And so-
testimony changes the tone of the case. What first appeared to be unwanted stalking now has a heartbreaking explanation. From David's perspective, every phone call and letter wasn't about intimidation. It was the desperate search for the only family connection he believed he had
He's gone.
left.
And so had you ever heard of Mr. Martinez's mother? Did you know your son to have had a relationship with, what was your mother's name?
It's Maria.
Maria.
No, I did not. I knew nothing about it. I did when the car was towed and I had to retrieve the few things in the car. There were female sunglasses, there were a few ladies' articles, but there was no name.
Okay.
I know that he was dating someone, but I did not know who, and we're kind of a private family. I respected his privacy, and that was part of the reason why he felt comfortable living with me. He knew that I wasn't going to interfere.
Coming up.
Did you ever think, let me sit down and talk to this young man? Why is he near me? Why does he think my son is his biological father? What made you decide to sue him?
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with the case of Clara Rodriguez, who blames David Martinez for causing emotional distress.
So, Mr. Martinez, I see tears in your eyes, and I know you've been through a lot, losing your mother, and then also not knowing who your father is. Can you tell the court what prompted you to try to track down Ms. Rodriguez, and how did you make that connection?
Yes, I have a picture that shows what my mom told me was Michael Henderson. And I looked up his information online, and I saw his obituary that he died from a car crash, and his only known relative was Miss Rodriguez. So I was able to dig into where she lived and her phone number, and I reached out to call, but she kept blocking my number, and that's when I started coming over, leaving those letters.
May I see your evidence, please? And so when you first started cutting the calls, Ms. Rodriguez, you blocked the number because you didn't know where they were coming from. Thank you, Sean.
Yes, that's correct, Judge. The first time I picked up the call, there was no response. I was one of those hello, and just a little breathing, and I was like, oh, okay. And I hung up. And then it rang again, and I saw it was coming from the same number, and so then I just blocked it because it happens, but yeah.
Tell me about when you finally connected.
Yeah, I never really answered the calls. I didn't talk to him on the phone. I saw him passing in front of my house. I was out trimming the roses, and I noticed, I was like, oh my God, this guy's back. I was scared. I was just scared. And so then he hurried up and he got into his car and noticed that he was driving a black Mustang, and the last numbers on the plate were 25. And my son had died at 25, and it was 25 years, and it was just too weird.
You felt like it was some type of numerical sign.
Absolutely.
It just came to you when you saw that number 25.
Absolutely.
And so then what did you do? How did you come in contact with him to have the first conversation?
In November, when the Mexicans celebrate the Day of the Dead, I came out on my porch, and there was an altar set up there with the beautiful carnations and,
Yes.
and the skull and the names of his mother and my son. It was an act of kindness, but I also wasn't sure if it was an act of I don't know, torment.
Well, it was extremely emotional for you, I'm sure. Mr. Martinez, did you put that arrangement there?
I did do that. It was a tradition me and my mother used to do every year, and this was like the first year she was gone.
Was that like an olive branch? Were you trying to say, I don't know if I'm your grandson, I may be? Was it kindness, or was it a way for you to maybe break the ice and get her to talk to you?
Yes, it was a kind gesture. Like, I thought she would appreciate it. I didn't think it would make her feel this way. I didn't think I'd end up here.
Is this the first time you all have really been in a room together? Or did you ever sit down together?
No, we never sat down. We haven't been in a room. I only saw him kind of around the property and pacing back and forth, and I really didn't know. I mean, I had no inkling what his real intentions were.
Before bringing this suit, Did you ever think, let me sit down and talk to this young man? Why is he leaving flowers at my door? Why is he near me? Why does he think my son is his biological father?
My concern was that this was opening a door I wasn't ready to go through, to be honest. I do see something of my son in him, and I don't know if that's delusion or hope or wishfulness, but I just didn't want to go down that road with a stranger.
And so your inclination was, I'm going to sue this young man, and I'm going to have him owe me $15,000 because I would rather him pay me for what I believe is the harm he caused me versus actually embrace him and say, if you think my son was your biological father, I'm willing to take a test with you to find out if that's true. I'm truly trying to understand how we got to the suit versus to a solution.
Instead of immediately focusing on damages, Judge Lauren Lake starts questioning whether this lawsuit is really solving the underlying problem. Sometimes the legal issue on paper isn't the real dispute standing in front of the court.
I appreciate your perspective. What I was trying to achieve here was, I know that is the most I can sue for. I wanted his attention. I didn't want to be blown off. I wanted him to take this seriously. I wanted him to stop creeping around my house. If he is my grandson, I want a DNA test to prove it. I want this to be clear and concise.
You know, I'm thinking about your testimony, and I want you to understand that emotional distress does require some very real, reckless behavior. That he intentionally wanted you to be emotionally distressed, right? It requires an intention. Or there is negligent infliction of emotional distress, which would occur if he owed you a duty of care that he didn't provide to you. What I do see are two people who have a lingering paternity question that they need resolved.
This is an important legal moment. Emotional distress claims require much more than proving someone felt afraid or upset. The court has to determine whether the defendant's conduct was intentionally or legally wrongful, not simply emotionally painful.
Coming up.
And that cost you $15,000.
That is combined with therapy sessions.
Because Mr. Martinez was calling you.
Not only because he was calling me, but because his appearance, those numerous times, was causing me to have heart palpitations.
You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with the case of Clara Rodriguez, who blames David Martinez for causing emotional distress.
Now, if there's evidence you have not presented, I'm happy to look at it. But your testimony thus far, you have not shown me that you have been in a level of emotional distress that would warrant Mr. Martinez owing you $15,000.
I have medical records and bills.
I'll look at those, please.
Yes.
All right, so here are the medical bills you submitted. This states that you had to go to a specialist and urgent care visits and treatment for traumatic stress.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that cost you $15,000.
That is combined with therapy sessions.
Because Mr. Martinez was calling you.
Not only because he was calling me, but because his appearance, those numerous times, was causing me to have heart palpitations.
Do you really feel justified suing a young person who's lost his mother for $15,000? It feels a little irrational, and it feels like these treatments, you needed those anyway, because you're dealing with the loss of your son in a tragic way, which you even said, I bought the car that he had the accident in.
Yes.
I'm saying it to say that's another level of grieving.
Yes.
And I'm trying to see if maybe you processing those things is clouding your judgment on this, because what if this is your grandson?
Coming up.
Your instinct is to sue him for $15,000 instead of want to get the answer.
Your Honor, it is my way of getting the answer.
You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with the case of Clara Rodriguez, who blames David Martinez for causing emotional distress.
It's odd to me that your instinct is to sue him for $15,000 instead of want to get the answer.
Your Honor, it is my way of getting the answer. By calling him to this court, we're expressing ourselves before justice.
And you would rather the paternity testing be handled in a court setting?
Correct.
Than you and him just do it privately?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Well, if that's what you want, that's what you'll get, because you have submitted to DNA testing. And this court does have the answers for you. Mr. Martinez, I will say this to you. You have handled yourself today with the utmost maturity, kindness, respectfulness. You have been a stand-up young man.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I have to say anything, just that we're all grieving. My mother passed away recently, and my intention was never to cause any of that. And just because I didn't take the therapy and spend $15,000 doesn't mean I have to pay $15,000 for something that wasn't my fault. Like, we all have to grieve, and I just hope we just get our answers so we can start healing together.
Are you ready for the results?
Yes.
When it comes to DNA testing for David Martinez, the court was able to use labs for Mr. Michael Henderson.
After all the testimony, grief, and uncertainty, everything now comes down to scientific evidence. One DNA report is about to answer a question that's been hanging over two families for decades. Before the results are read, what do you think they're going to reveal?
That were previously obtained. And through the testing, it has been determined by this court. The late Michael Henderson.
Judge Lake's verdict when We the People returns. You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake.
The late Michael Henderson is Mr. Martinez's biological father. Ms. Rodriguez, that is your grandson. How does that feel?
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
That's all I wanted. Just wanted to find out the truth.
It is truly my honor to do this. Paternity matters. He may not have gotten to know his biological father, but now he has you as the extension of his father. And you can tell him all about his father. And you can have an extension of your son through your son's son.
Thank you.
Would you like to give your grandson a hug?
I think so.
I think so,
Aw.
too. It's been far too long. You can stand on the same side together. We know your family now. I wish you all the very best. I am going to dismiss this emotional distress claim. Court is adjourned.
Judge Lauren Lake ultimately dismissed the emotional distress claim, finding that the evidence didn't support holding David Martinez legally responsible for the damages being claimed. But the courtroom's most important decision came through DNA testing, which confirmed that the late Michael Henderson was David's biological father, making Clara Rodriguez his grandmother. What started as fear, misunderstanding, and grief ended with truth, healing, and the beginning of a relationship that both of them had unknowingly been missing for years. Sometimes the most meaningful verdict isn't about who wins a lawsuit. It's about giving a family the answers they never thought they'd receive. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.